Only the Bulls, only the Bulls, only the one and only Chicago
Doom ba doom doom
Bulls.
doom doom ba doom doom ba doom 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 ba doom 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 ba doom ba boom ba doom 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 ba.
Who can set the court on fire?
And good morning, everybody. It is Sunday, October 5th. It is the Western Conference preview. Josh Sclair, Adam Shalafu running the audio pick and roll as we always do. Adam, how you doing?
Great, man. Happy to be running with the Bulls. Back at it again. And always an exciting time of year when you get, a little MLB playoffs, still got the NFL going, NBA about to start. So kind of that sweet spot on the sports calendar. And happy to be talking Western Conference. I think one of the most just interesting with how things ended last year. A lot of really fun topics within a topic to get to today.
Yeah, and I think we'll start with the top 5 teams in the West. I think let's start with the top 2. I think that's undisputed. I think we can clearly say it's the Nuggets and the OKC. My only concern with the Nuggets, do they have a backup point guard that's ready? Because I believe it's Pickett, right? Their backup point guard. What?
I think that gets to be an interesting question when you consider the Nuggets and the point guard position, just generally speaking, because, you could say that their point guard is Jokic, the way they
He
use him.
really
He is their
is.
best
Let's be
passer.
real. I agree.
He
He's their
really is.
point center.
And so they don't really have a guy other than like Jamal Murray, but Jamal Murray is not a traditional point guard necessarily either. A guy who I have seen run some point guard and do a good job, and I trust with the keys to the offense at this point, is Christian Brown. But I think you got, Bruce Brown can also handle it. I think that they have enough to get it done. You never want to see Jamal Murray get hurt. He's their second best scorer. And so there's so much that ties into keeping him healthy to have the Nuggets like truly be scratching at their potential. But I wouldn't say it's a huge concern for me just because of their style of play. Everyone's going to be moving the ball. You talk about Michael Porter Jr. no longer being there, and Cameron Johnson is somebody who's such a better passer. In that regard, the reason I love the Nuggets are my number one in the West, number one favorite to win the championship, in fact. And Cameron Johnson's a huge part of that. You get rid of a bad defender in Michael Porter Jr., who also wasn't. Michael Porter Jr. could rebound and score.
That was it.
And
he
Cameron
wasn't even a
Johnson's
great scorer at that. He wasn't even great at it.
He was good, but yeah, he never really did the things I expected him to. I thought maybe you see a 40, 50-point game or something last year. But I do think that you bring in a much better fit with Cameron Johnson, better passer, better defender, better fit. And you just go up and down. I know you have teams that improved the most is one of the topics. So I'll just put a pin in this for now, but they improved a lot.
Well, I think it's clear that they're the most improved team by far in the West. I don't think that there's any doubt about that. And the thing that'll be interesting is that people just, if you remember last year, it's a 7-game series between the Nuggets and the Thunder. And the Thunder, for how well they played, to get an NBA championship, it took them 7 games to beat the Denver Nuggets. And the Denver Nuggets were playing Russell Westbrook 40 minutes a night, basically. So and that was not a good. That's not. We're not talking Russell Westbrook MVP. We're talking Russell Westbrook at what, 35 years old. So
don't get me wrong, he had his moments last year, but
no,
like
he
he
did.
cost
But
them
when you're
games.
playing
He
him as
also won them games.
when you're playing him as one of your main guys, that becomes problematic. I am a little surprised he hasn't gotten a contract, but that's neither here nor there so far. It's a little surprising to say the least. But anyway, now you've got this great amount of depth on your team. As long as you can stay healthy going into the playoffs, it's going to be a huge, huge advantage for the Denver Nuggets. When they play a team like OKC, it's going to be a huge advantage.
I just think that how close that series was in UKC, it's literally the same team as last year. I think that they're the kind of the consensus favorite to win it again. I just think that the Nuggets are going to be able to play better basketball, and I think they still have the best player. And we've seen it a lot that if you have the best player, you have a great chance at winning a championship. I think that they did enough to bridge the gap between them and OKC. And I don't think it was that big a gap anyway. I think that the Nuggets had a pretty flawed roster and were a pretty bad defensive team last year. And when I say flawed, I don't mean bad, but like when you consider their ambitions to win a championship, they couldn't guard. And you can't win a championship without defense. And so I think that they're so much better on that on the floor when you consider like what they're going to be able to do with Jamal Murray's like a solid perimeter defender. Christian Brown lockdown. Bruce Brown lockdown. Cameron Johnson, very good defender. Aaron Gordon, very good defender. Even Nikola Jokic, he's
Isn't a
improved
great defender, but
tremendously.
Jokic isn't a great defender, but he can hold his own a little bit. He can hold his own.
He is at the very least a pretty good defender.
He's gotten a lot
Like
better.
I wouldn't put him great, but like people talk about him like he's a traffic cone out there, and it's just not true.
He's not James
He's
Harden.
not very. No, he plays good defense. He plays good physical defense, and what you don't want to have him guarding pick and rolls at the top, and that's somewhere where you want someone like Cam Johnson or someone like Aaron Gordon, and you want to be able to blitz with somebody who has a little bit more mobility there. But you just look up and down, and their bench is just so deep when you like have Bruce Brown, you have Jonas Valanciunas, you have Tim Hardaway Jr. I just see a road for them to be very durable in a way that like even if they get some injuries, I don't think it sinks them. And when you consider like the grind that is the 82 game season, and then you throw in the other weirdo games we have now with the play-in tournaments and the whatevers, I see that the Nuggets could test or survive the test of time there and win that battle of attrition. And then when they are in the playoffs, I just don't see a team playing better ball than Denver. But the other teams I got in that top five, I like the Rockets a lot. I think the Van Vliet injury is a huge bummer. I
So
like
who's
the
their ball
Clippers.
handler? So who becomes their primary ball handler is the question, because without Van Fleet, they don't. I mean, you have Şengün who's like Jokic light, but he can't really shoot like Jokic, not even close.
No, and I think you saw how badly the Rockets got exposed last year in the playoffs because they wanted to use him like Jokic, but their opponents knew at times, like, all right, well, Şengün is going to be looking for this pass, and then it just led to turnovers in that Golden State series. And so I think that they are, well, they're on paper like super, super good, and they're a team I was saying in the summer could legitimately try to win a championship. I think losing Fred Van Vliet, that might prove to be the Achilles heel. Like
You can't
I
lose your
don't-
second leading scorer in the playoffs and expect that to just go well.
Well, I don't think you can afford to lose a point guard on a team where like a selfish old Kevin Durant is your best player. Like, and you have a lot of guys who are going to need to step up. Like Jabari Smith Jr. has to be way more consistent. Amon Thompson has to be a lot better. Reed Shepherd, Aaron Holiday, like who even is the point guard? Houston's a team that should be trying to get Russell Westbrook right now because they need somebody.
No, I would try and sign Russ if I were them, absolutely, because you're going to need somebody.
But I think they're in trouble. Okay, and then the Clippers, they're old. And then you got your Minnesotas of the world, you got your Dallas Mavericks
like
of the
an
world,
old
you got
folks
your
home.
LA Lakers of the world.
In LAC and LAL, it's an old folks home. You got the Lakers with the 42-year-old LeBron, the Clippers, the oldest starting lineup in NBA history. I think everybody except for Zubats is over 29 years old, and I think they're all over 33 at that point. It's just crazy to think that they're going to try and pull this off. But the Clippers, if healthy, are going to be very good. They're going to rest Kawhi a lot. I think they still have a good chance to be a very solid team, but they're old. It doesn't work when you're that old. It like the Warriors. Everyone's like, "Oh, the Warriors are gonna be really good." No, they're not. They're old. When you get to be old, listen, you and I are big Bulls fans. How much longer realistically could that Bulls dynasty have held up when they were that old? They already like at some point it just comes apart.
They beat that Spurs team with the Twin Towers.
I don't see how they beat that Spurs team realistically. I don't think that they could. You don't have anybody to stop Michael on that Spurs team, but you got no one to stop Duncan. And listen, I love Dennis Rodman. He's not stopping Tim Duncan. And no one's and Luke Longley ain't stopping David Robinson.
No. And so, yeah, I think that would have been we'll never know, right? I think,
right.
Would they have had anyone to stop Michael Jordan?
I just said no. I just said they had nobody to stop.
Right. So it's just kind of like it can go tit for tat there. I don't want to fall into this rabbit hole because that could be a whole show.
We're not going down that rabbit hole. We're not.
But I do think that age is something to consider. I think that I think the Warriors are going to be good. I have a hard time putting together my top
I think they're
five.
A playing team. I think that's it. I think they're a playing team. I really don't think.
Wow.
I don't.
Okay, I think they're a little better than that. Well, who's your top five in the West?
Well, I got OKC. I got the Nuggets. I'd say the Clippers. I'd say Minnesota. Do you throw Dallas in there as the fifth team instead of Houston right now, or do you keep I'll probably keep
Houston. I keep Houston in there, but they're probably like five without Van Vliet.
I would agree with that.
Like Clippers are my three.
Dallas is right there. I put Minnesota. I mean, Dallas is going to be really good defensively. Really good. You have a 7-3 starting center now. Derek Lively 7-3 now. What are you supposed to do when he's in the paint?
He's 7-3?
He grew 2 inches this offseason, according to the report.
That's crazy. Yeah, they're built like the damn Monstars with Lively, Davis, Flag. I think that they're a really, really, really good team. I don't know if Kyrie's going to play this year. I hope he does.
I think he will by February or March. He'll be back. And if he can be 75% of what he was, I think they'll be pretty darn good.
Yeah, I think that they're a team that scares me a little bit more, but kind of on a fringe because I see two teams, like you said, being better than all the rest, and then it's just such
a free-for-all,
mixed bag. Like the Clippers, man, I mean, I get they're old, but like John Collins coming off a monster year. Zubac is one of the more underrated players in the NBA. Like Bradley Beal, what a luxury to have him as your third best player. For crying out loud, they have Chris Paul back. Like I think the Clippers
and CP3 is still pretty darn good, and they have a ton of depth. You got Zubac, you got Brook Lopez, you have John Collins, you have Nick Batum who's still solid. Derek Jones Jr. is still there. You have Kawhi, you have Bogdan. I believe they still have Bogdanovich too.
Like they're old, but they're crazy deep.
They're crazy deep, and it's going to help if somebody has to sit out one night. You can put CP3 in the lineup if James Harden doesn't want to play back-to-back. If Kawhi doesn't want to play back-to-back, Chris Dunn, those guys can fill in, and they're so crazy deep. It's going to become, it's going to create problems. And they took Denver to 7 games last year. So it's going to be interesting to see what they can do because if Kawhi is healthy and he's producing, he's going to do well in the playoffs. He always seems Kawhi steps up in the playoffs and always seems to do very well. This is a team that won 50 games last year. And I'm just looking at the stats. Kawhi was, I mean, if I'm looking at it correctly, he was great in the playoffs. I mean, listen, 25-7 and 5 is no joke. That's pretty darn good for the playoffs. Shooting 53%, 40% from 3.
I think about the top 6 because those are your playoff teams. Right now, just going through it with you, I got Denver is my 1. OKC is my 2. Clippers is my 3. Here's where I feel comfortable putting Houston as my 4. And then that 5 and 6.
I'm putting Minnesota 5.
I think Minnesota's fair. I think what they've done so much the last couple of years to establish themselves, I'll put them there. I am concerned about. I just don't believe that much in Julius Randle and Rudy Gobert. Is like I think they can
Rudy
get to the
Gobert's a
Western
not like
Conference Finals.
the thing is, and this is why I think that they have problems. You can't play Rudy Gobert for 90% of this. You can't for most of the series. He can't play defensively on the pick and
Right.
rolls. You can't switch him out on the
Exactly.
perimeter. He's going to get cooked. He can't play
Exactly.
offensively. He can't shoot.
Exactly.
He has no
Exactly.
post game. He's an abyss offensively. I mean, it's fine in the regular season, but it's like, it's just come playoff time. He's just a non-factor. And you can play Naz Reid a lot too, but Naz Reid is not, I mean, Naz Reid's good, but he's an undersized 5, and that creates problems as well.
I kind of look at it and I think you could make a case for the Warriors being better than the Wolves. Call me crazy, but like the Al Horford pickup's a tremendous fit.
It's a
Like he
tremendous
doesn't need to
fit,
be.
but what is he, 40?
I think he's 50 or 60, but he's still a great fit. But I mean, I see this team and I see like a lot of savvy experience and then an interesting influx of young guys like Pajemski. I expect him to take another step up. I think Kaminga, they finally got it done with, Trace Jackson Davis showed his moments. Like they have some young guys who are going to be able to spell some of these older guys, but yeah, they were so much better when Jimmy Butler joined. And so, like, I do think it's really interesting where you have both the Currys now, Steph and Seth, a lot of shooting back there, Buddy Hield, Gary Payton Jr., uh, Jimmy Butler, Draymond, Kaminga. Like I said, I love the Horford pickup. Quentin Post was solid. Like, I see that team is kind of like in that mix, but it just gets so hard to say who's better than who at that point. I guess if I'm going to call a number, because I'm at number 5. I guess I'm going to put the Mavs there at 5, and then it's like you can make a case for the Lakers. Like Marcus Smart, it was a perfect pickup for them. Like I think
but
DeAndre.
Here's my question about the Lakers. Ayton's a nice pickup. You still cannot guard interior defense. You have no interior defense. You have none.
I mean, it's a lot better than last year when they didn't have, like, who are they putting out there last year? Todd McCullough and JaVale McGee. And
JaVale McGee's not a bad interior defender. That dude's got
Sticky
long
Simpkins.
arms.
I mean, it was a joke last year. Like they just at some point last year they were just like, screw it, we don't have a center. We're just not going to have one. I think Ayton's better.
I think they were playing LeBron at the 5 at one point. I mean,
they were for a while. So I mean, I think that the Lakers are like, they didn't fix all their problems, but like they had 48, 49 wins last year. Yeah,
50.
They're 50. So I mean, like, I think that the Lakers are going to be a little bit better, and like they're going to get their wins. So I'm kind of talking myself into the Lakers. I'm going to put them at 5, and then I'm going to put the Mavs at 6.
Okay. Fair enough. That's fair. All right.
What about you? Give me your top 6.
I mean, I'd go OKC. I'd go the Nuggets. I'd go Clippers. I'd go Minnesota. And then I guess you could throw the Lakers in there, but like, it's going to be real tough because I think I'll put the Rockets at 5. And then at like 6, it's basically Lakers Mavs at that point. I mean, that's pretty much where I stand. Yeah. So, all right, let's talk about the team like that we're most interested in that's not in that top 6. My most interesting team is going to be San Antonio. I really want to see what they can do. You've got the number 2 pick and Dylan Harper coming in. He'll be a nice pickup. You got a full season with De'Aaron Fox. Victor, I believe, has added about 10, 15 pounds of muscle to his frame. I was seeing some of the highlights when he played last night, and he looked, good Lord.
Yeah.
It was crazy. Yeah. He was bumping guys off him and throwing down like Shaq dunks. It was crazy. It's just, me and you talked about this. Besides like Jokic and a couple other guys, like could he ever be a modern, like an old school center with his build? I can't see it. He's too skinny.
I just want to see him do more in the paint. Like I'm okay with him shooting threes, but like I want him to be.
He shot 9 a game last year. It was 9 threes from a center is
Yeah.
ridiculous.
How about like take 5 a game? You know, do more of like a Giannis thing. I
That's why
think
I love
if
watch.
there's anyone,
Yeah,
he should be looking at Giannis.
that's what. Listen,
But
I love watching Jokic play because he can shoot from the perimeter when he has to. He shoots the mid range beautifully, but that post game is flawless, and it's so beautiful to watch. It's got so many moves in the post. He's not very agile. I mean, but he uses what he has agility wise to get where he needs to and finds his spots.
oh man, agile. Like he's definitely moves better than anybody else that size ever was. But you know, I think that there's 2 dark horse teams or like teams that I have my eye on. One, this isn't exactly rocket science, but maybe some recency bias is working against this team, and they moved off of Desmond Bain. But the Memphis Grizzlies, they were looking like one of the best teams in the West for most of last year. I
They
think
were,
KCP solid. Jalen Wells is some of the best found money in the league right now. Just a guy who is a second
and they
round
got
pick,
GG
a
Jackson
guy who is
too. They
yeah,
found him
and
too out of
Santi
nowhere.
Aldama. Like I expect him to be a much more important piece, especially if Edie's going to miss any time. But I think that's the team that's has every right to just kind of sneak right back into the picture. We saw Scottie Pippen Jr. take some big leaps forward. And then here's my shocker. Okay. I think the Portland Trailblazers are going to fight for a playoff spot. I
I
think
don't
that
think that's shocking. They were good last year at the end of the season.
they were like, I'm going to call them like fun bad. You know, they were 36 and 46. I guess they weren't like bad, but they're like Denny Avdija, like
They were
he
like the
averaged
Bulls. They were fun
25
bad.
and 11 and 6 from March to the end of the season. And I think that he's arriving. I think he's the most underrated player in the NBA. And you know his nickname? Do you know what his nickname is, Josh?
I had no idea.
Turbo.
Oh, I thought that's what it says here. Yeah, I saw a turbo here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So his nickname's Turbo. He got that from when he was on the Wizards, and I can't remember what teammate, but they were like, he always plays with the turbo button on. This guy's motor is second to none. He's a good defender. I like at times he turned the ball over too much last year, and I think he's still kind of learning to be more of like that point forward for them, where he's not going to have those careless turnovers. But if he takes the next step that he's trending towards and he cuts back a little bit on those turnovers, this guy absolutely should be an all-star, especially when you're talking about like, I mean, Josh Giddey, we talked about all the time about how strong he finished. Well, on the other side of the NBA, you got a guy who's doing 25, 11, and 6, who's a good defender, a good shot blocker. He gets steals. I think that Advia is someone who can lead the Trailblazers into the thick of, at the very worst, a play-in situation. But I look at a team like the Grizzlies and the Blazers, and I could see the world where the Grizzlies actually kind of pass up the Blazers, or I'm sorry, the Blazers pass up the Grizzlies because like one team's trending up and the other team's trending down, and maybe they kind of like meet in the middle and swap. But that's a team I have a super close eye on this season. Also, like the Suns. I'm just going to throw them in there. I think that like they were a very disappointing team, but I think the hate went a little
I'm
bit
giving you
too
the funny
far.
look. I'm giving you the funny look. That team ain't going nowhere.
I think that they had an okay offseason. Like Kaman Malawak, really good pick. Nick Richards, decent pickup, especially when just having to have him be depth. Mark Williams, that's the guy the Lakers wanted. Dylan Brooks, good defender. Royce O'Neal showed up when he needed to. Jalen Green, solid. Devin Booker, good.
You don't have
I
a
feel like
scorer besides Devin Booker on the team. And Jalen Green can be okay, but he's not anything
I don't think this is a
special.
team that's like going to be. I think this could be a play-in team, but I think people are treating them like they're a lottery team.
I mean, I think they're a lottery team. I don't think that they're going to be very good.
Now we got to check the over/under.
All right, let me see.
Over/under. Suns wins losses.
The over/under is
2025.
31.5.
I'll take the over.
I want to say under. I'm going to take the under. I think they win 30 games. I just don't
Write
see
this one down, folks. This is our first board bet or whatever we're going to call it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see that going very well for them. I just don't see it.
I think like they get like 34, 35 wins, maybe 40.
All right. So if you want, we can do an interesting one. If you want to go to let's go to the over-unders for Western Conference teams. Let's see what we got. All right. So right now we have this is BetMGM Sportsbook. Let's start with, if we go down here, let's start with Dallas. They're at 41.5. Over under 41.5 for Dallas. I'll pick over on that one. I would agree with you because I just think, you know, you got Cooper Flag, who's going to help you a lot. You got AD still. I mean, AD put on a little bit of weight, but he'll lose that weight real quick. It'll be fine. They're so good defensively. I think it's going to be hard for
I
you
think
to
it's
stop them.
good that he put on a little weight.
It'll slow down his mobility a little bit. It might help him keep off some injuries. So we'll see. We will see.
Exactly. I think that they told him to put on some weight.
They might have. They definitely might have.
I think that they were like, hey, we need you to be. I think that when they traded for Anthony Davis, that they had a different idea for what he's going to be for that team. I think they need him to be an enforcer, and I think that Dallas is going to try to big ball. I think Dallas, you
fine.
look
If
at
it works.
the Monstars.
No, I
Like,
think they're going to play bully ball a lot of the time because
I think they're going to be the best rebounding team in the NBA.
they very well could be because you have AD down there. You've got Derek Lively, who's now 7'3". You got Gafford. You got Cooper Flag, who's a great rebounder as well. It's going to be a tough team to handle. It's going to be, definitely.
Flag runs away with Rookie of the Year, by the
I
way.
think Flag runs away with it too. I don't think there's anybody who's better. I mean, Cooper Flag's insane. All right,
Yeah.
Denver, 53.5.
Over.
I'd say over 2. I'll put them at, I think they'll get 55, 56 wins this year. That's what
Yeah, sounds about right.
Golden State, 45.5. I'm going to put them just under. I think they'll get 43.
Going under as well.
Yeah, 43, maybe 44 wins. If they get any injuries on that team, they're going to be in big trouble. And that's an injury-prone team with an aging team right there. All right, Houston's 52.5. I'm putting that at under without Fred VanVleet.
Taking under, I think maybe like 47 to 49.
Yeah, that was basically what I was thinking. Clippers 48.5. I'm going over on that one.
That's such a good line. I'm going over, but it's so close. I feel
so
like
close.
50.
I agree. Lakers 47.5.
How about like exactly 47?
I think that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
I'm thinking the under there.
Yeah. All right. We got Memphis 40.5. I'll take the over on that. 40
Take
and a
the
half.
over.
40.5's a little too. That's not a lot for Memphis. 40s. They won 48 last year. 40.5 is low.
Yeah, that's a little disrespectful.
I agree. You're not going to lose 8 more games because you don't have Desmond Bain. I don't think so. I don't think so. Minnesota 50.5. That's the next one we got. That's close.
I mean, I get it. I feel like Anthony Edwards needs to, and this is a lot to ask, but Anthony Edwards needs to like compete for an MVP this year.
He does. It's just a question of whether he will or not. I mean, he's so talented, but I mean, my thing with him is overall improve your game, less 3-pointers and driving more, take some more mid-range, improve your efficiency. It just drives me crazy how many 3-pointers he shoots. It drives me crazy. Last year, he shot 10 threes a game.
Well, I think that like it's interesting because we've talked about like what would Jordan look like in the modern day. Like I think that like
Mike's not shooting 10 threes, and Kobe ain't shooting 10
no,
threes.
he's
in this
not.
modern NBA.
He's not. But you look at like SGA and you look at like Anthony Edwards, and I feel like SGA's made the mid range and getting the foul line in art form. Jordan was so good at using the mid range, and I watched a video about Jerry West talking about how to do a pull up jumper, and Jerry West made a really good point. It's like what makes it so dangerous is the defense doesn't know when it's coming.
Right.
And so if you have the ability to stop when they don't know you're going to stop. Like the 3-point line, yeah, he's got to shoot behind this, but you can open so much else up. Like I want to see Anthony Edwards take a step forward this season. And I think that the rest of that roster has some serious concerns. And I think that they got exposed. I think they're a good team, but I think they are going to have to make some moves. I think the young guys are going to have to step up. And there's a lot of ifs. If they do this, if they do that, if this happens, if that doesn't happen. And so I take the under.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough, it's really tough, so I would take the under as well. All right. So the next we got the Pelicans at 30.5. I'm taking under. This team's a disaster.
Worse than the team they're so bad.
They're so bad. It's a train wreck. We're not even worth our time. Okay. OKC 62.5. I'm going to say under. I think they regress a little bit this year.
It's a big number. I'm going like
62.5 is a little too much.
That's just any team where they're over unders in the 60s. Like you have to take the under just because it's so hard to win 60 games.
It is. It's just so difficult. I totally agree with you.
Not the 90s Bulls. They won a championship. That's great. We'll see what they do. But
if one guy goes down, they're in trouble. If two guys go down, they're in trouble. Jalen Williams is probably going to be struggling to start the season because of his wrist surgery.
It's a good point.
Yeah.
I love their roster. I think they could absolutely win it all again. It's just so hard to win mid-60s.
Yep, I agree. All right, Phoenix 31.5, like we discussed. I think I took under, you took over. Portland 35.5. I'm going over.
I'm going over.
All right.
41.
San Antonio 44.5. This is a good one.
I'm taking the under.
I'm going to take the. I might go over. I think I'm going to take the over.
Take the over. I want you to take the over.
I think they'll win 45. I think they can win 45. Yeah.
I think they win 43.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough, man.
These are some good lines.
No, these are. All right. Sacramento's at 35.5. Oh, God. I feel so bad for Kings fans. Can we just say that?
Yeah, I do take the over, but
Sacramento, it's maybe by 2 games.
Dude, they're just the Bulls now.
I know. It's ridiculous.
I want them to get Vucevic so bad because then they can just be the Bulls.
I would love. Listen, if you traded Sabonis for Vucevic straight up, I'd be like, okay, just do it. That's fine. I'll take Sabonis.
Yeah, it's like the it would be like when you have those sequels that come out way too late and they're not very good. It's like, wait.
The only sequel that's come out that didn't come out that came out way later and it kind of worked was Happy Gilmore 2, and that's the only one.
And
that one was not even as good as the first. I mean, you're not going to repeat the success of the first one, but it was not bad. It wasn't bad.
The Kings are Zoolander 2. The Kings are essentially Zoolander 2.
So I saw Zoolander 2. It was so bad.
I didn't finish it. I fell asleep.
You didn't miss anything. It was ridiculous.
And the Kings, when you consider that they play on the West Coast, I'm going to fall asleep. Right. I'm going to try to watch some Kings games. I'll have some fantasy basketball implications. I'll have a reason to turn them on. And I'm going to fall asleep. Don't get me wrong. I think Sabonis is a dog. I think, I don't have beef with DeRozan or Zach, but, no, they got a lot of their same problems. I think that they're, completely mid, just like the Bulls were with DeRozan and Zach.
All right, here we go.
Why would you do that? I'm sorry, but why would you do that?
It's the Kings. What do you expect? They've been in a bit.
Why would you look at another team and they're like, hey, let's do exactly what they did? Because we want to win 39 games.
It's a total disaster over there. Speaking of
disaster, what are you doing?
The lowest over-under on the entire sports book, Utah, 18.5. You're going under. Going under for 18 and a half? I don't know if I
I'm
can
not
do that.
joking, but they're going to be so bad.
I know they're going to be so bad, but I don't know if I can go under 18 and a half. I don't know.
I'm going under. I'm serious. I think it's more
I mean,
like
I kind of
17 or
agree
16.
I'll go under, but like, oh my good. Let me just give you the runoff. So Utah's 18 and a half. Second is Brooklyn 20 and a half. And then Washington's 21 and a half. Those are the three worst. Charlotte's not even that bad. Charlotte's at least 27 and a half.
Charlotte's a team that like is kind of interesting.
If LaMelo plays 70 games, they're not going to lose. They're not going to lose. They're not going to lose 55 games. But he never plays, so I just don't see how it works.
If Lincoln comes back to life, he could make a good president. But these things aren't going to happen.
Yeah, it's true. All right, folks, that's going to wrap it up. Patrick ecstatic on the tunes. Want to thank everyone who listens in, and we will be back with our Eastern Conference preview. We'll preview the Bulls. That'll be its own episode, and then in a few weeks we will also have our first regular season Bulls podcast, and we'll be back to doing. We're pretty much back to doing this at least once a week, twice a week, and we will be updating you guys. So thank you for tuning in, folks. Have a good one.
All around the world, they know this team will survive. Who's got the pride, the glory to keep the dream alive? Only the Bulls, only the Bulls, only the one and only Chicago Bulls. Who can fly through the air? Who can get them off their feet? Who can always snatch a victory from the jaws of defeat? Who can play the toughest defense, shattering the score, get Chicago up and rocking, crying out for more? Only the Bulls, only the Bulls, Chicago Bulls, only the one and only Chicago Bulls. Ay, 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 ay. Ooh, Chicago Bulls, yeah. Chicago Bulls, ay, ay, ay. Chicago Bulls, ay, ay, ay. Chicago Bulls.